Hi guys, thank you so much for clicking this video and welcome to my channel once again. Of course, this is the Depression Awareness Month. We're talking a lot about depression. I feel like the conversations, the stigma rather around depression should begin to lose its grip and hold. And for that purpose alone, I'm going to be sharing my depression story, another side of my depression story. All right, that's what it's about. I want for these conversations to begin to be, I don't know, I feel to be normal, to be expected, to be welcomed. So I'm going to be sharing my depression story from another angle. But in the comment section, I want you all to tell me a bit about your depression story. Tell me where are you with your depression? How are you doing? How are you coping? And tell me about some depression triggers. Just really tell me, speak to me about your depression. Honestly, I'm curious. I want for us to like have this conversation, all right? So let me just get into it. Maybe around 2016, 2016, thereabout, I had an experience that triggered my depression. For me, it was an experience with the loss of my sister, right? When my sister passed on, it was unexpected. Yeah, it was a rude shocker. My sister was diagnosed with anxiety disorder. It was the first time in my life I ever heard of anxiety disorder. I had no idea what it was. The medications were just weird. They were so big. The tabs were so... I do not like medications. I do not like the smell of medicine, tablets, you know, pharmaceutical drugs. I don't like the smell of that stuff. It just messes my mind up. It messes my smell as well, my sense of smell. But she was taking that stuff. They were so big. Some of them were antibiotics that were so big. And when she took those medications, it usually gave her, she had this difficulty in breathing, right? And whenever she got like that, it was a terrible sight to behold. I felt like I should be able to do more. I should know. I just felt like I should be able to give her the help that she needed, right? At that moment, it felt like that. And when she passed on, I had those thoughts like plaguing me. You know, it felt like, Nancy, you didn't do enough. I felt like I didn't care enough for my sister. I felt like I abandoned her. I felt like, why was I sleeping when she couldn't sleep? I felt like if she wasn't sleeping, then I shouldn't be sleeping. I felt like maybe if I had stayed up all night with her, maybe the outcome would have been different. I just felt like I could have been able to do more, right? But I didn't. So when she passed, all of that thought constantly plagued my mind. And on top of it all, it was difficult to mourn. I didn't get a chance to mourn my sister. Honestly, I didn't get a chance to mourn my sister. I didn't cry. I didn't weep. I felt like if I had cried, maybe I would have felt a lot better. But around here, it was so much like, oh, Nancy, you don't have to cry. Oh, you shouldn't cry. You should be strong for your family. You should be strong for your mom. But nobody cared how I was feeling at the moment. It felt like I had to put up a strong front and a facade for my family. It felt like I had to be strong so that my mom could be strong or draw some strength from me. But I wasn't that strong. But I had to. I felt like I suppressed my grief. I felt like I suppressed my anger. I felt like I suppressed the pain. I couldn't, express the pain I was feeling. And I think that metamorphosed to the guilt, the pain, the what ifs that plagued me afterwards, right? I think that was probably what happened. Maybe if I had cried, I feel like it probably wouldn't have been that bad. But I can tell you that that singular event in my lifetime was solely responsible for my second dive into depression from around 2016. 2016 December, I had a terrible dive, towards depression. And it just kept getting worse. I mean, from when that happened, I think it just kept getting worse. I mean, so I shared a room with my sister, right? My sister and I shared the same room. So it was so difficult, like being in that space. I didn't cry. I didn't mourn her loss, but I was surrounded by everything that reminded me of her. And I think that just messed my mind up in ways. It was just a bit too much. And I feel like that particular event opened up a lot of darkness and instability, you know, in my mind, with my mental health. And that caused a severe, it began as a mild depression, but it metamorphosed to a severe depression. I think for me, at some point, when my depression became really bad, and my turning point was when I couldn't, I lost interest in things that I would normally be interested in. I'm a super extrovert, but at some point I became very introverted. Yeah, it's possible for people to be introverts and extroverts at the same time, but for me, I knew I had become introverted from the anxiety that came with hanging around people. I felt like people would judge me for not being strong, for being so weak to allow myself mourn my loss. And people would probably judge me for my sister's passing. There were tons of things in my mind. And that shaped and formed my daily activities, I must tell you. I think I became so much more private. It also affected my work life. I would literally reject job offers, just apart. Because then I wasn't working with a company, I was a freelance, you know. I am a freelance filmmaker, I'm a script supervisor. So I wouldn't take on jobs because I got really anxious. I couldn't stand crowd, I couldn't stand people, I couldn't stand to be in the presence of other people. I felt like punishing myself was like the best thing I needed to do. But while I was punishing myself, I was sinking deeper and deeper into depression. I lost interest in things that would naturally interest me. I love to hang out. Honestly, I'm such an outdoor person. I love to be amongst friends. I love to laugh. I love to party. I love the wildlife, you know. But when I started distancing and losing interest in all of these things, I knew that I didn't want to continue that way. I knew that I wanted for my life to become as colorful, as wholesome as it used to be. And then I said to start looking for help. But I couldn't talk to anybody about my situation. I couldn't even talk to my parents. I couldn't even talk to my friends about what I was going through. I couldn't talk to anybody about it, but I desperately needed to feel better. And because of that, I still couldn't even reach out to a psychologist. I couldn't reach out to a therapist or a counselor. I couldn't even afford to pay a therapist or a counselor, even if I wanted to reach out to one. I couldn't afford to because I became so broke. I became so broke, I couldn't afford nothing. All of these things just pointed to how the depression was eating my life away, how it was totally affecting my life negatively, the quality of my life, you know, and I knew I didn't want my life to continue like that. And so when I say to you guys, like, with depression, feeling better is totally doable. It's absolutely doable. It's just a matter of deciding. It's so important to decide to want to feel better. Once you decide you want to feel better, you need to be able to believe that you deserve to feel better. Look, nobody deserves like a fantastic and a great health more than you do. You need to tell yourself that. You need to believe that so much. And once you've done that, it's so important to, I think with depressed people, I've noticed something. We always want to like get to many things at the same time. You know, we complain about how, oh, I don't feel the strength to actually get off my bed to do anything. Oh, I can't actually tidy my space. Oh, I can't actually, like, we complain a lot about all the bad things, and we somehow want to fix all of these bad things at the same time. It's impossible. You're killing yourself. It is important to begin. I think it's so important to break these things down into smaller parts. Whatever you want to do, break it down into smaller parts. And once you achieve the first small chunk, it's a celebration. It's a victorious move for you. You can see how much progress you have made. It might be little, but that alone would boost you enough, will motivate you enough to go on and do the little thing, the next little thing you need to do. So I'm sharing this because I feel like it is so important for me to share my own depression story. And this is just another side. This is just a side of my depression story. I think earlier on I shared a video about my depression and journaling and affirmations, how it helped me. You might want to take a look at that video. Journaling and affirmations helped me so much because, like I said, I couldn't afford a therapist, and I still couldn't even bring myself to share what I was feeling with anybody. But when I started journaling was an avenue for me to speak up, to pour out my mind, it was so therapeutic. I felt like I could trust my journal. I felt like for me it was my computer. So I could trust my computer. I wrote down all of my feelings on there. It was the safest place to unburden. And I can tell you that exercise alone brought in a lot of light and relief in my life. It didn't give me like the total, excitement and highness from being like 100%, but it was the beginning. And the more I practiced, the more I kept at it, the better the results, the more solid my results. What you have to understand with depression and dealing with depression is, it is possible. You can be better. You can definitely be better. From when my sister passed 2016. For 2 solid years, so about 2018, I was in such a dark place mentally. I didn't do any work for over 24 months. I didn't do any work. I didn't do anything. I was in my house all through. I mean, up till now, I'm still trying to get out of that being in an enclosed space or being alone by myself. For me, it's baby steps, one step at a time. But honestly, guys, I know I am making so much progress. It might be slow, but I am making progress, and I love it. And I've experienced this liberation that comes with, getting past depression, and I love it. I would do anything to sort of like remain liberated and free from the mental, from the mental shackles. So you want to be able to just tell yourself that it is possible. You can definitely get better. You deserve to get better. So guys, tell me in the comment section, really. I don't know how I feel sharing my experience, but I feel like it might just strengthen or encourage somebody out there. I honestly hope it does, because for me, that is the whole reason for this. To be able to share strength, to be able to let you know that you're not alone, to be able to make you see that it is possible to feel better with depression, and to make you understand that you can literally treat your depression even without antidepressants. I didn't do any antidepressants, and I am not saying antidepressants are bad, but there are certain things you might want to begin to try to do if you want to deal with your depression naturally. So I'm going to drop a link to the video I made on how to deal or beat depression naturally. You want to take a look at that as well. There are tons of things you can begin to do like now, like instantly, to feel better. Little. Be consistent and be conscious about it, and you'll get the desired results. I hope you love this content. If you do, please give this video a like. Turn on the subscribe button and also turn on the notifications button, because you know what? You want to actually hear so much more about all of this in the future. And please, it is free, absolutely free to subscribe. All right? Share this video with groups, communities, persons that you think might benefit from this video. I feel like there is strength and courage in sharing your depression story. There is strength in sharing your story. There is zero weakness. There is zero abnormality with your depression. It is absolutely okay to be depressed. It is okay. You are not insane. It is super okay, all right? So this is me sharing my story, and I hope that you find the courage to do that as well. You find the courage to do what you need to do to feel better. Find a support group if you need one to be in. I'm going to drop a link to the Facebook support group for depression. It's a super private group, zero judgments, and a massive support group for depression and anxiety people, depressed and anxious and depressed people. So you want to actually check that page out on Facebook. All right, guys, thank you so much. And hey, my affirmations. My name is Nancy. I am beautiful. I know that. I am enough. I am bold. I am worthy of love and respect. I am innovative. Definitely. I am creative. Everything, absolutely everything is working together for my good. And everything is possible unto me. All right, guys. I'll see you all next time. Okay? Bye.